Good morning, all of you. So, in the last class, we discussed some problems based on this pseudo force and friction combination, right? And so now in today's class, let us see friction between the pulley and the string. So we solved so many pulley problems, and all of them we neglected that friction, right? And so now let us see if friction is there, then how to calculate that. And but still we are taking them as massless. Pulley is massless. We are assuming that only we are taking this friction. If pulley is also having some mass, then that concept we will discuss in rotational mechanics, because there the torque equations are required. So those type of problems we will discuss only in this rotational mechanics, right? And so here, so they say pulley here. Let us consider now this string is passing over this. Suppose say this is T1 and T2 are the tensions here. So right, T1 and T2 are the tensions what we are assuming here. So this string is passing over this, and it is having some coefficient of friction of this coefficient of friction, let it be mu for example. And so now here we need to derive an expression for that relation between the tensions here, T1 and T2. So once you can easily understand that if friction is there between that pulley and the string, then tension will be different on that both sides of the pulley here, that we already mentioned in the beginning of this NLM, right? So just to mention that, consider a string is passing over the pulley having coefficient of friction mu, having coefficient of friction mu. If friction is considered between pulley and the string, if friction is considered between pulley and the string, then tension will be different on both sides of the pulley. Tension in the string will be different on both sides of the pulley. So here we assume that like this string is sliding this direction, so towards T1 you may consider that, and so that I can say that T1 will be greater than that of T2. That means if this string is moving like this, I am assuming that it is moving like this. This string this side it is coming down here. So then what we can consider here is then T1 is greater than that of T2 we can consider here, so that it will slip on this pulley like this. And so now for this we need to take a small element, and then based on that we need to write the equation for that small element here, right? So here I am taking very small element of this string here. This is a very small element of this string, so that this angles I can consider it as totally d theta, and so then this angle will be d theta by 2 I can write. So this angle will be d theta by 2. So similarly this is d theta by 2, right? And so now here this side the tension will be greater we are saying here. So for the small element if I consider, so here if I consider the tension as T here, then the tension this side will be, I can consider it as T plus dt. We are taking this small element of this string here. Let us take, this is the small element of the string, let us consider here. This is a small element of the string we are taking. So from this what we are saying is tension will be different on the both sides. On this side we are assuming larger, and so then this side I can consider it as T plus dt here, and this side it is T. And the remaining forces what we can write here is the normal reaction will be there here along this direction, and then the frictional force will be there. So friction is in which direction here? So if you are pulling this string with the larger force this side, then the string has tendency to slip along this direction here, and so that then it will friction force will be there in opposite direction here, and so then this frictional force will also be there along this direction, right? So that is our forces acting on these different elements here. Now let us write this force equations here. So what we can write here is so along this direction I am writing here, along this radial direction for this element, so that N is equal to, you can resolve them into components here actually. This tension you can resolve this into component. This angle will be d theta by 2 you can consider, and you can resolve this into components. I am directly writing this component for this and for this, that components sin theta components will be there in downwards, And so then what we can write is t sine theta by d theta by 2 plus, and so then this is t plus dt sine d theta by 2, right? So this is the equation here, but we know when theta is small, then you can consider this sine theta is equal to theta, you can consider here. So that means what we can write here is if theta is small, then sine theta can be approximately taken as theta. So that is a concept here. So here the d theta is already small. So then d theta value can be replaced by, that means d theta by 2 can be replaced by d theta by 2. Sine theta by 2 can be replaced by sine, that means d theta by 2. So this is d theta by 2 plus t plus dt into d theta by 2 you can write. And so that this n is equal to t into d theta you can write here. That means this value will be there here. And so plus actually what you can write here is dt into d theta by 2 you can write. So but here what we can consider here is this n is equal to t into d theta you can consider here. Say this is equation 1. This value tends to 0. Why? Because this d theta dt value is 0, and that means dt value is very small and d theta value is also very small. So if you are multiplying like 0.5 into 0.5 means then it becomes very small, less than that of that value, like 0.25 you will get, or 0.05 and 0.1 if you are multiplying, then you will get the two smaller values. That means if you are multiplying the two smaller values, it becomes further less value. And so that then these two are very small here, so we are multiplying them, so we can neglect the term there. That means that tends to 0, so that this value I am taking here. That means this is the meaning is this, its value is approximately, that means this is neglected here. Neglected, the term, that product is neglected, right? And so now this is the equation along the radial direction. Now let us write the equation along the tangential direction here. So we are assuming like the string is ready to slide. The string is ready to slide means the tension acting on the tension, that means that frictional force acting there, you can consider it as a limiting friction, right? And so that so along tangential t plus dt cos theta minus, so that means that side I am writing here t cos, sorry, this is d theta by 2, d theta by 2 minus cos d theta by 2. That means this component and friction component we need to write there, right? And so that friction component you can write this as df is equal to 0. And so then if theta is small, then cos theta value will be equal to, you can take this as approximately 1. If theta value is very small, that means cos 0 if you are taking, then theta value is very small means then it is tending to 0. Then cos theta value can replace by 1. So here cos d theta by 2 and here cos d theta by 2 can be taken as 1. So that is t plus dt minus t minus this df is equal to 0. And so that what you can write here is dt is equal to, I am writing here df you can write there. And so therefore it is this df is nothing but you can write it as mu into dn. That means actually here itself this normal reaction itself you can consider it as a dn. The normal reaction acting on that element you may consider there. So you can substitute the dn value here by using this equation. So then here also take that as a dn. That means simply it indicates it is acting for the small element. The normal reaction acting on the small element you can write there. So then this is mu into the dn value I am substituting here, t into d theta, right? This we are writing from equation 1. So from equation 1 I substituted that dn value. So just you can rearrange and you can integrate this. So d theta by dt by t is equal to mu into d theta you can write. And so just integrate this equation here. So that equation means then you can the limits you may consider here, like it is changing from t1 to t2 and it is from 0 to theta, you may consider some general expression there, right? And so that means this side if you are taking it as 0 and then this side this element up, that means this that limits are nothing but the angle up to which that string is in contact with the pulley there. That is the meaning of the theta value. So for example, I am taking from 0 to some angle theta. So then this tension is changing from this T1 to T2 and this is from 0 to theta, you may consider there. And so that what we can write here is ln. The integration of this value is nothing but ln you will get. So then ln T2 by T1 is equal to mu into theta you will get, right? So that will be the equation there. So you actually need to take like this T2 value is increasing order, that means this value we are taking it is increasing, then you need to change that limits, or you may change this equation as like because here we are taking the T1 is larger than that of T2 we need to take. So here which if theta value is increasing, then this tension also increasing order we need to consider, or you may consider like this T2 and T1 you may consider like this, because we are considering that tension is increasing this side here. So right, so when theta is 0, then tension is that means from this angle T1 T2 you may consider, when this theta is theta, that means when this angle is theta, then you may consider the tension as T1 here. So that let us write this reverse this limits here. So this is T1 and T2. And now you can convert that into exponential form. Now it is in logarithmic form, you need to convert that into exponential form there. So if you are converting that into exponential form, then T1 by T2 is equal to e power mu into theta you can write. So therefore this T1 is equal to T2 into e power mu into theta, right? So now that is the tension expression there. That means the tension on the higher that means the higher tension value here. If you know the lower tension value T2 value, then higher tension value we can calculate by using that equation. So you can observe that will depend on that theta value there. The tension will depend on the theta, and we are getting that in terms of e exponential, or that is called to be logarithmic constant, that e value. So this is ln value. So ln we are converting that into exponential form. I think all of you know this conversion, logarithmic to exponential and exponential to logarithmic conversions there, right? So now that is the tension expression there. So then if the friction is there, then you can observe that the tension will be different on that different sides of that pulley, and the tension will depending on this theta value there. That means how much angle the string is in contact with that pulley. Now for example here I am taking like so for this theta angle we derived this expression. Now suppose I am taking a situation like a particular angle, for example I am giving here. So it is come in contact here and it is leaves the contact here. This is our T1 and this is our T2. So then in this case, so that means now this is an example here. So this is an example, let us write here. If so, or let us write here in here theta is equal to pi by 2. Therefore this T1 is equal to T2 into e power mu into pi by 2 you can write. Now this is the T1 and T2 relation here for this example. And whereas if I consider like our general case, like two blocks are hanging from this pulley, if you are taking for example, then if you are taking a case like that, like here one string is there and here another string is there like this. So you may consider this is T2 and this is T1 here. So this is an extra case. For the next example it is considered here. So in this case, if mu is everywhere in every case we are taking that mu as a coefficient of friction here. So therefore in this case the theta value we can take this as pi. So that means it is contact here and it is until this will be in contact. So that this angle will be, you can take that as pi, right? And so that then here this value, the T1 value, we can write it as T2 into e power mu into pi. So this will be the expression here. So like that you need to identify the theta value and you need to write the expression for these tensions here, right? So that is when pulley, that means friction is there, friction between this pulley and string is considered, then tension will be different on the different sides. So this is the way of calculating the tension on this tension on the different sides there. So here just I will give a simple question based on this. So let us see this question here. So a block is kept on this table. So this is m0 mass I am taking here and this will be m0 by 2, right? And so here this friction is there, here the friction will be there between this pulley and the string. So this friction I am taking it as some mu. So this system is, now I am saying that this system is ready to slide here, and so that then what should be the coefficient of friction between this block and this table, so right? So just mention that in the system shown in figure, mu is a coefficient of friction. Mu is a coefficient of friction between pulley and the string. If the system is ready to slide, then find the coefficient of friction between the block of mass m0 by 2 and the table. That means here we need to calculate the coefficient of friction here. So let's suppose I am taking this coefficient of friction as mu1 here. So that mu1 value we need to find, and the given information is like the system is ready to slide. So the system is ready to slide means here this side I am taking this tension as some T1 here, and this side I am taking it as T2 here. So what we writing this expression in that T1 is equal to T2 into e power mu into theta. There T1 is a larger value and T2 is a smaller value, that you need to remember there, otherwise you will get the wrong answers again. And so now this body is in equilibrium here. It is ready to slide here. So here this frictional force will be there along this direction. That limiting friction will be there. So for m0 I am writing here. For m0 if we consider, then T1 is equal to m0 into g, right? Then for m0 by 2 block if you consider, that means for this block if you consider, then T2 is equal to FL we can write, because that block is ready to slide down. That is our given information there. So therefore T2 is equal to mu1 into m0 by 2 into g you can write. Is it clear? So that is our T2 expression. Now, so we know that so just now we derived this relation here, T1 is equal to T2 into e power mu into theta, where mu is the coefficient of friction between pulley and the string. So then you can substitute these values here, m0 into g is equal to mu1 into m0 by 2 into g into e power mu into theta. So here the theta value will be pi by 2 you will get. So as we discussed in this example here. So then in such a case you will get that angle as pi by 2. And so then this m0 g you can cancel there. So just we need that. So m0 g and m0 g you can cancel. So we need this expression as mu1. So mu1 is equal to 2 into e power minus mu into pi by 2 you can write. So that will be that expression for this coefficient of friction required between the block and this pulley here, right? So this is the expression for that coefficient of friction there. So such a type of problems will be there based on this. You can solve them easily just by using that expression there. The tension T1 T2 relation, you can that means by using that relation you can solve this type of problems. Next, let us see this block on block problems here. So especially based on this, lot of problems will be there in friction block on block problems. But actually that means like 2 blocks problems, 3 block problem and 4 blocks problems may also be there in different materials. But generally up to 2 block problems it is very important for this advanced point of view, and they never ask like either 3 block problem or 4 block problems there, like our wedge constraints or the previous constraint I discussed there in the previous topic, and there also I said they never ask a question from the constrained motion. But you should have idea about this different blocks here, so that you will get clarity how to take the direction of the frictions, right, and how much frictions we need to take. So I will explain here. I will explain block on block problems, that 2 block problems and 3 block problems also, so that you will get the more clarity about this block on block problems. So in this, first let us discuss the basic cases regarding this block on block problem. So first I am taking the case like so this is first case I am taking here. Like suppose 2 blocks I am taking here, and a force is applied on this lower block I am taking here. Force is applied on the lower block, and so this surface is smooth surface. This is a capital M and small m, and here the coefficient of friction is given as mu. That means only this coefficient of friction is there between this friction is there between the blocks here, and there is no friction between the block and this floor. So in some problems they may give that friction between the floor and this block also, that also we will discuss it later. So this is the basic case what we are discussing there. M and M, there is no friction on the floor and there is friction between this M and M. And so now we are applying some force on this only horizontal, that means on the lower block there. And next we discuss for when the force is acting on this upper block. And so now sometimes there may be force on both the blocks also, that the such a type of problems also we need to discuss here, right? So first let us see this basic case here. So that means in this we need to decide first of all whether the blocks are moving together without any relative slipping, or there is some slipping between those two blocks. So first you need to decide in block on block problems, first you need to decide that point there. So whether there is any slipping between those two blocks, or they are moving without any slipping between blocks, between those two contact surfaces. So that means that is the important conclusion we should get in this type of problems here. So for this, so let us assume that the common acceleration, they are moving with this common acceleration. So first I am going to derive an expression for maximum force that can be applied on this lower block, so that they will move with the common velocity, common acceleration. They are moving with that common acceleration. That is the thing first I am going to derive here. So for that let AC be the common acceleration of these blocks here. AC be the common acceleration, right? Therefore this AC is equal to F by M plus M, you can write that, because here then we are taking both the blocks together, so that will become an internal force. Friction between the blocks will become an internal force. On this 2 block system, the only external force is this F only here, and so that we can write this common acceleration like this. And so now here we need to calculate the maximum possible acceleration of this capital M. So if you are increasing this force on the lower block here, then what will happen is the acceleration of the system will increase initially. So after reaching a particular value, the acceleration of the small m does not increase. There is certain limit for the acceleration of the small m. Why? Because the only accelerating force for this small m is frictional force only, right? If you are taking the free body diagram for this, if I am taking the free body diagram here, so this is small m, the only force will be the frictional force here, and for this capital M, that force will be there like this, right? So the only remaining vertical normal reactions will be there. We know already, that means we can write that normal reactions easily because there is no any acceleration in vertical direction. So I am not representing the normal reaction, right? And so now here, so if you are increasing this applied force, then the acceleration of the lower block goes on increasing there. There is no any maximum limit for this lower block here. You can't say any maximum limit for this lower block. But for this upper block, there exists certain maximum limit here, because you know the upper block is accelerating only because of the friction, and you know the maximum possible frictional force is nothing but we call limiting friction. So beyond that, the friction is not possible. Friction cannot increase that beyond that limiting friction there. So there is certain acceleration limit for this upper block here when force is applied on this lower block, right? So now here what I am writing here is the maximum acceleration of upper block. So this will be equal to, like I am taking this as A1, or A1 maximum is equal to, or A maximum is equal to FL by small m, you can write. So right, so when the acceleration is maximum, acceleration will be maximum when friction is maximum. And so that this friction here you can write simply here as the normal reaction, like upwards will be there and mg will be there in downward direction. So it is frictional limiting friction will be mu mg by m. And so that this maximum acceleration, what we can write here is mu into g. So this is a maximum acceleration. So the max I write here as, therefore maximum possible common acceleration. Is it clear? So like simply I can say that if suppose this value is say some 5 meter per second square here. I am taking an example so that you will get the clarity, numerical example here. So this is 5 meter per second square I am taking here. So the maximum possible acceleration of this will be 5 meter per second square only. So initially we are applying very small force so that acceleration is 1 meter per second square, this common acceleration. So then upper block is also moving with 1 meter per second square only. If you are increasing this applied force here, then acceleration of both the blocks will increase, right? So here this m plus m, this value will increase. So it can increase until this 5 meter per second square there. After that, if you are further increasing this force here, the acceleration of this block doesn't increase because it can't be greater than the limiting friction there, right? So acceleration of this block can increase there, so that the common acceleration is not possible. Then relative slipping will be there here. So the maximum possible common acceleration of the system, what we can write is, so AC maximum is equal to this A maximum, you can write here. The common acceleration maximum possible value is nothing but this value here. So the maximum possible common acceleration means I am writing it as so F max is equal to, that means F max by m plus m. So this is equal to mu into g. F max means that maximum common acceleration, the force until which the common acceleration is possible, that I am taking there, right? And so that this value we can write this as F maximum is equal to m plus m into mu into g. So this is the force, we can say that the maximum force until which common acceleration is possible for this case here. So is it clear? Until this force common acceleration is possible. So here mention that the above expression gives the maximum force until which common acceleration is possible, right? So that means when force is less than this, then common acceleration is possible. If force is more than this, then common acceleration is not possible. So we need to next discuss that only. So is it clear for this type of problems? This is the approach here. We are taking this common acceleration and we are finding the maximum possible common acceleration here. That maximum possible common acceleration means we take this for the block on which there is no force. That means which the block which is moving only because of the frictional force. That block we are taking there. And so that for this its acceleration there is certain maximum limit, and that maximum limit we are calculating, so that becomes the maximum common acceleration for this entire system there. And so that we can calculate this maximum force. And so now here what I am taking here is, now let us discuss the cases like if you the applied force is less than this maximum force here. That F maximum is it clear? The maximum force until which acceleration is, common acceleration is possible. So here I am taking the case like in this, if F is less than F maximum. This F means applied force. Whatever the force we are applying, that is less than this F maximum. Then both blocks move with common acceleration. Right? So here the blocks will move with the common acceleration. So which is given by F by m plus m. So this is a simple just common acceleration you can write. So in this case, if I ask how much frictional force is acting on this small m here, so now that can be calculated as just by taking the free body diagram of this small m. So that question is actually important here for this case. How much frictional force is acting here? So you can't always write that as mu mg, you can't write here. That is the important thing you should note. So that means here the frictional force will be you can write here the frictional force will be there like this, and the system is this block is moving with some acceleration. So that what I can write here is that friction F is equal to m into AC. So therefore I can write this as F is equal to m into F by m plus m. So that will be the frictional force between these two blocks here. This is the important thing here. Generally, if the question is there, then they will ask about this only, frictional force only, because most of the students will do the mistake there only. They will take that mu n or mu mg, they will write. And so next let us consider the case like if F is greater than this F maximum, that means applied force. When applied force is greater than this maximum frictional force here, that limiting friction if you are taking here, that means maximum force for the common acceleration, then clearly what we can say is the system will move separately. That means both the blocks will move separately with the different acceleration, or we can say that there will be some slipping between those two blocks there. So you may don't think about the blocks may fall from, that means upper block may fall from this lower block. We are not considering about that there. That means if the dimensions are given, then we can calculate after how much time the block may fall from this the small m may fall from this upper block. Such a type of problems are also there, and we will discuss them later. Then they will give the dimensions of this lower block here, like a plank they will give length of the plank, and we can calculate after what time the upper block may fall from this. So here just we are discussing about whether slipping is there or not. So in this case, in this discussion, we are confined to that only, right? And so now here if F is greater than this F maximum, then both blocks move with a different acceleration. So both the blocks will move with a different acceleration. Simply you need to take this free body diagram of each block, and then you can write this accelerations of these blocks here. So this is m, and so then here this it is accelerating because of the frictional force only. I am taking it as a1 here. So if only coefficient of static friction is given, then you can take that kinetic and static frictions are same. If kinetic is given for example, then here you need to take this kinetic here, that you need to remember. If kinetic, because slipping is there, if different values are given, mu s and mu k values, then here you need to take that mu k value. So that means actually you can write this as mu k value. Therefore, A1 is equal to mu k by m, you can write Fk by m. So mu k into mg by m you can write. Therefore, this value is nothing but mu k into g. Is it clear? If only mu is given, then mu into s you can write, which is nothing but our maximum possible acceleration for this. And now let us take similarly the FBD of this capital M here. So for this capital M, this applied force will be there here and frictional force will be there in backward direction here. Now it is accelerating with acceleration some A2. And therefore now you can write this equation as, now this is Fk. F minus Fk is equal to capital M into A2, right? And therefore this A2 expression you can write here, the A2 is equal to F minus Fk by capital M you can write. The acceleration of this block simply. And Fk means you can substitute that value. Mu k into small mg by capital M. So this acceleration of this block here, the acceleration of that block is given by that expression, right? So there is a way of solving this type of questions here, and this is a simple question. That means simple case what we discussed now, right? And so now there will be like I will give a problem based on this and just to solve that problem. So like these are the two blocks here. Say this is 5 kg and this is 10 kg block, and here this coefficient of friction is say 0.5, and a force F is applied here, and let us take this as a smooth surface. So right. So now our questions are find acceleration of the blocks, find acceleration of the blocks, and friction between the blocks, when applied force F is, so write this different values I am giving here, like 40 newtons and F is equal to like say 60 newtons. And F is equal to 100 newtons, right? So for this you need to calculate this acceleration of this system here and frictional force between those two blocks here for these three values, so, right? I hope you can solve this one here. So don't use that formula directly. So you need to derive it again, because you can't remember that formula when you are going for the final examinations. So just you need to remember this procedure here. So just you may assume that all are moving with the common acceleration, and so that find the common acceleration. What we derived in the previous discussion, the same calculation you need to apply for this numerical problem here, right? So I hope all of you can solve this. So try this problem, right? So in the next class I will explain this next case here, when force is applied on the upper block, and then I will discuss some problems based on this block on block problems there. This derivation is, that means this calculation is same as that of our previous discussion. So once again, if you are getting doubt, once again go through the discussion, then you can solve this problem easily, right? In the next class I will explain when force is applied on the upper block, when force is there on the upper block and lower block, and friction is there between the ground and the lower block also. So all those cases I will discuss in our next class, right? Thank you.